Hello, everybody. I'm Esther, and I'm back again with another episode of Exploring Creativity. We're going to look this week at, let me see, I'm just going to actually turn you. We've got some interconnected isolation for you this week. And also, this is a program or project I'm working on called Interconnected Isolation is a project I'm working on for the drawings, for the artwork. But Exploring Creativity is another project I'm working on, which is this weekly program where I talk about one piece of my work and use it to explore what creativity is. And I was thinking creativity is actually essential in our development. I mean, you can research all of this. I'm actually not an expert on the ideas and education of creativity. But it does seem to be quite important, and at this time with all the craziness with COVID and politics and finances and economics, we've got to be at the top of our game in creativity. So let me know what you think creativity is. Put it in the chats. What is creativity for you? How do you have creativity in your life? Because this is, when I get into it, I'm going to talk about, it's like decision making. Decision making seems to be coming up a lot. Anyway, I see Alice is watching. So, hey Alice, I'm glad to see you there. Listen, let's get into it. Let's you let me know what you feel about creativity. Any thoughts, any ideas? I'm so interested. I'm doing this to get me out there and let you know what art I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But actually, I'm also quite interested in what you're doing and why you're doing it, how you're doing it. And the life is a two-way interconnected road. So let's see. We're gonna look here. I'm gonna flip the camera around so that you can see my interconnected isolation. Well, actually, first, before we do that, we're gonna look over here, over my shoulder, at my pretty little print. There's a pretty little print. And there you go. You've got a pretty little print. And let's see, Ivana's saying she can't see. Oh, but she is watching. Okay, anyway, this is the print. I'm not just showing the print because I'm showing the print. I'm showing you how I often work and the vocabulary I often use. And it's a bit of a DNA-like interconnection. It's not only that. It is a knitted little experience, really biomorphic, undulating, organic type of experience. So anyway, during this COVID experience last March, here in Paris, we had what do you call it? Because we're going to have it again, confinement. In fact, right now we have a 6 o'clock curfew. It is an hour past curfew time here. 6 o'clock, we have to be in our houses. Crazy, huh? So you've got to really be thinking about being creative and going with flow and being flexible and knowing things are canceled and how are you going to pay your bills and what are we going to do now? So during the first confinement, I was making work, and let's see, where's my camera switcher? This is always a great angle of me. Okay, camera switcher. Boom, here we are. Interconnected isolation. Okay. This is actually, I guess, it's like the most recent piece I'm working on, which is a nice change from last week when I was showing you some old work, or 2 weeks ago. We had a much older work. But this is the most recent, truly the most recent. It is number 25, might even be 26. It's probably 26. 26 of these drawings that, because I figured out what I was making. I went to the drawing pad and I brought some magic markers with me. This is how it happened. Because you've got to make decisions. My decisions were basically made on what makes me feel good. I believe. Sometimes they're made on other things, but I try to focus on what makes me feel good. I hope you can see okay in the light. Actually, you know what? I'm also going to flip because this is one, but there's others. So what made me feel good was going to a drawing pad and taking some pens and working on it. And I didn't know what I was going to do. Actually, here. I think I'm going to end up talking about more than one of these. This is actually the most recent one because this is how it goes. Now, it wasn't like that in the first place, but it got more and more evolved. It got more and more complicated. In fact, I'm going to just flip back and I'm going to show you an early one. Yeah, we're early here. This is the earliest. And you see in the earliest one, we've got rectangles, we've got colors, we've got space, we've got a splodge in the middle, or however you want to call it. But what was happening, I saw in retrospect, what was happening was during confinement, I live in a city and we live in an apartment. And so we were spending time, getting your own time in, let's open up to random bits. Yeah, so it would change like this. Here's another example. So we're in these rectangles. Rooms are rectangles, okay? So you spend your time drawing, cooking, sleeping, watching TV, trying to figure stuff out. And you're, in a rectangle. The apartment itself is also a rectangle. Here, we get more intense here. So the apartment is a rectangle, and then we were permitted to go outside for 1 hour a day within a certain time and within 1 kilometer of our house. I'm sure you've heard of this. So we had 1 kilometer, 1 hour. And what would we do during that time? Hello, we'd go to supermarkets and do a bit of the food shopping and see other faces. I mean, obviously we walked around more than that, but there was a lot of, going to the supermarket and seeing what's going on in the supermarket and buying food, because that was the big fun thing to do, was cook. So that was a rectangle. So we were in our rectangular rooms, in our rectangular apartments, going into these big rectangular boxes of supermarket, and then we'd come home and hello, we would have a Zoom with some friends, or for work, or for whatever reason. And Zoom, if you're familiar with it, which you might possibly be, is little boxes. So I don't actually do these things consciously. I'm not thinking, how can I translate my rectangular experience into something pretty? Look at those colors down there. That's kind of like a Klimt thing almost happening there with the colors. You can read into these. I mean, I'm not the first person in art history to use little rectangles. Mondrian, I don't know, plenty of other artists have done this. So I'm not trying to be original here, but it is, again, playing with the decisions. I mean, the decisions become really important. How are we going to fill this? Look at, if you go from, you've got this, okay? And then you go, somehow it ends up organic, and we've got a spiral. What is here? Here's this, wait, no. Because then I went through a whole spiral. I love the spiral. It was organic, and I felt comfortable with my little rectangles getting organic. And again, we're playing with the Klimt, golden, rich colors, royal. But I'm going to flip to, here's a pretty recent one. Again, it's like, how do we, like, then it becomes also, this one is kind of organic with the form. It's almost a figurative form. So we're playing with our rectangles, making decisions, and usually it's like several colors I will select to go together, how I want to see them. I mean, I can't tell you anything more than that. I mean, how do you make decisions? I mean, you flip a coin, you go with what you like, you go with what you know, you go with what you don't know. I mean, this is a time when, damn, we've really got to think. How do we make decisions? We've got to be exercising ourselves, thinking about, decisions are important these days. So here we're playing with our decisions. This, I'm not convinced about that, leaving that, but I shouldn't admit that to you. Anyway, here we are. And this is the most recent one, and this is a dispersion. It's all dispersed out, making it go. It's kind of just, it's out, it's gone, but then it's the density. It just seems like, I don't know. Actually, I have a friend who's a homeopath who saw these and said that's exactly what she is doing. Because homeopaths work with sulfur and copper and any number of elements that are actually from make puzzles. You are not the first person to tell me to make puzzles, Eric. I'll tell you, and God, I love the puzzles. Yeah, exactly. Puzzle. So anyway, do the research, let me know how to make a puzzle. Then I can make money off of, huh? So these are beautiful pieces of art you should be investing in, of course. But I can also go puzzle. Anyway, the decision making, where was I? I was somewhere. I could just lose myself. Let me think for a second. Totally cannot remember. I got sidetracked on the puzzles. Dispersion. Oh yes, the homeopath. So my homeopath friend said that she's, working in the New Jersey area, and she would have certain areas where they needed more sulfur bases and other places where they needed more, I don't know if they use turmeric or they use belladonna, but they're different colors, like they're blues and pinks and yellows and reds, and the base of the homeopath is its colors. And so she saw these during the first confinement and was like, that is exactly what I'm doing. But it was through a more medical, herbal, homeopathic view. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to turn it around and see y'all again, or you're all going to see me. See right up my nose. Woohoo! Anyway, so you got a bit of I ended up giving you a few more than just one piece. But that happens sometimes. You get carried away. So yeah, you juxtapose it with the little Scooby-Doo, which I'll talk about another time. But I thought it would be good to talk about the interconnected isolation. Oh, there we go. Puzzle info. Excellent. Watch this space. There'll be puzzles. And I'm doing this, everything can come and live at your house. Do not forget. I'm doing this obviously because I want to share what I'm doing, and I want you to know what's happening and get it out there and exploring and delving. But it's no problem if they decide that they need to go live with you. That's fine too. Anyway, share this. If anybody is interested, please do not hesitate to share this with friends or anyone who'd be interested. Or actually, if there's anyone who's interested in contacting me, it could be interesting to, develop the creativity in all sorts of ways. Anyway, take it easy. Have a good evening or a good afternoon or a good morning, depending on if you're checking this out from California. And thank you so much to all of you who have shown up and spent some time. I know we've got so many millions of fabulous things to do. And this is just one of them. So I really appreciate it that you came and saw and were here. Take it easy. I'm sending you love. Stay healthy. Spread the love. And I don't know, I'll probably see you next week because I actually kind of enjoy doing these. Take it easy. Bye-bye.